Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first video on conversion investigation method. In this video, we will talk about the significance of uncovering how perpetrators convert and use stolen funds. We will talk about how to utilize federal, state, and local public records to track the financial activities of suspected perpetrators. We will talk about how to access online resources to aid in investigating suspected fraudsters. And finally, we will conduct net worth assessments on suspected fraud perpetrators and understand their effectiveness in court proceedings and eliciting confessions. Please like, subscribe, and share my channel to search for accounting lessons and hit the notification bell button to alert you for the latest video. For all of your questions, comments, and suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. And for webinar and guest speaker invites, please send me a message at accountingamir@gmail.com. Accounting is AK. We hope that this video helped students in their academic development and teachers in enhancing their lesson plans and teaching methodologies. In this video, we will delve into the Farmore case and look into the spending habits of a fraudster. We will talk about the acquaintances' spending patterns and how investigators can uncover such purchases, what strategies they can adopt using financial records, transaction monitoring, and forensic accounting techniques. Farmore, a retail chain, was founded by Mickey Monas in Youngstown, Ohio in 1982. It grew rapidly with over 300 stores across the country within a decade, offering household goods and prescription drugs at lower prices, and the impact was it was able to compete strongly even against giants like Walmart. Far more success was a fraud. Investigators found overstatement of revenues and profits by 500 millions, and the culprit was Mickey Monas, the mastermind who pocketed over $500,000. Monas lived lavishly, using the stolen money for extravagant indulgences. He diverted 10 million to support a minor league basketball venture. He even bought a $500,000 engagement ring and hosted a luxurious poolside wedding at a Ritz-Carlton hotel where his bride wore a 500,000 gold mesh dress. Mona's extravagant lifestyle extended to impromptu trips to Las Vegas, where he would stay in a lavish suite at Caesar's Palace and generously gave employees thousands of dollars to gamble with. For him, life was a game of big bets and fantasy. In yet another fraud case, a perpetrator confessed to embezzle 3.2 million and described her extravagant lifestyle during that time. She mentioned driving luxury cars like Audi 5000, Quattro, Maserati Spider convertible, a Jeep Cherokee, and a Rolls Royce. Additionally, she admitted to purchase expensive artwork, hosting lavish parties with steak and lobsters, buying a condominium for her parents, going on luxurious vacations, and wearing expensive clothing, fur coats, diamonds, and gold jewelry. Mickey Monas and the embezzler showcased extreme lifestyles, but they share a common pattern. They rarely do they save the stolen funds. While many perpetrators start stealing due to urgent financial needs, such as repaying debts, they often continue embezzling even after fulfilling those needs. Instead of saving or investing the stolen funds, they typically use it to enhance their lifestyles. Investigations often focus on understanding how perpetrators spend or convert stolen funds, as this is a crucial aspect of the fraud triangle plus inquiry approach. Some frauds, like kickback schemes, leave minimal company records, making traditional investigation methods challenging. Therefore, lifestyle changes and conversion attempts become vital indicators for detecting and investigating fraud. Conversion investigations usually involve tracing assets, purchases, liability payments, and changes in lifestyle and net worth through public records and other sources. Financial transactions leave behind financial footprints even in supposedly secretive locations. With the increasing difficulty in using cash for large transactions and the accessibility of online resources, investigators can efficiently track and interpret these financial tracks to gather evidence supporting fraud allegations. Conversion searches serve two primary purposes. First, determining the extent of embezzlement and the purpose of it, evaluate the extent of embezzlement, and second, gathering evidence for interrogations to elicit confessions, and the purpose is to collect evidence to facilitate confessions during interrogations. Skilled interrogators can lead suspects to confess by guiding them to admit to having only earned income during interview. And when evidence of a lifestyle that exceeds what earned income can support is presented, suspects may feel pressured and confess. Let us talk about the information sources for conversion searches. To excel in conversion investigations, fraud examiners should utilize various informations, including federal, state, and local agencies, private sources, and online resources. Analyzing spending information through the net worth method can also help estimate embezzled amounts, and we will talk about that. Investigators, they use the net worth method to estimate embezzled amounts based on spending patterns. While the abundance of online resources has made conversions investigations more efficient, staying updated on available resources and carefully planning investigative tasks are crucial for success. Numerous federal, state, and local agencies uphold public records in compliance with diverse laws. While much of this data is accessible to the public upon request, certain information is safeguarded by privacy laws preventing its disclosure. Federal records, although less beneficial than state and local records in fraud investigations, can still offer assistance in specific scenarios. However, due to bureaucratic processes Assessing federal records can be both time consuming and expensive. Most federal agencies hold information useful for fraud investigation, and they include a list of different agencies. So let us talk about each one of them. The first one is Department of Defense. So the Department of Defense maintains records of all military personnel, active and inactive, categorized by branch of service. It also houses information on individuals posing national security threats and regularly share data with other federal agencies like the FBI and CIA. Military records, which are not confidential, offer valuable details aiding in tracing individuals' whereabouts through address changes. These records are also useful in uncovering hidden assets, as individuals often acquire property and assets using previous addresses. Explanation that military records are not confidential is that's why so important. And if you want, you can look into the information through the website of Department of Defense that is given here. It is online. Then Department of Justice is responsible for enforcing federal criminal and civil laws. It maintains records related to the detection, prosecution, and rehabilitation of offenders. It includes U.S. attorneys, U.S. marshals, and the FBI. The Drug Enforcement Administration is tasked with enforcing narcotics trafficking laws. Principal in FBI, this was Department of Justice, and now we have FBI. FBI is the principal investigative agency of the Department of Justice. It handles criminal matters not assigned to other agencies such as bank frauds, organized crime, terrorism, and illegal drug trade. It is responsible for national security within US borders. It maintains databases like the National Crime Information Center (NCIC) containing information on stolen vehicles, firearms, missing persons, and outstanding warrants. It also maintains the Interstate Identification Index, providing arrest and criminal records on a nationwide basis. Some states maintain databases similar to NCIC. It access to these databases typically require identifying information like birth date or social security number, generally not available to private investigators, necessitating involvement of local law enforcement in fraud investigations. And this is the website if you want to get some more information about it. The Bureau of Prisons is another federal government source of information. It operates the nationwide system of federal prisons, correctional institutions, and community treatment facilities. It maintains detailed records on individuals incarcerated in federal facilities. Previous incarceration information often serves as crucial evidence in fraud investigations, especially since fraud perpetrators are frequently repeat offenders. This is the website if you want to look into it. The next federal government source of information is Internal Revenue Service. The Internal Revenue Service is responsible for upholding internal revenue laws excluding those related to alcohol, firearm, tobacco, and explosives, which fall under the jurisdiction of Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. IRS responsibilities are enforcing internal revenue laws, managing taxation and revenue collection, administering tax related programs and regulations, providing taxpayers assistance, and education. Access to IRS records is restricted to law enforcement personnel and typically necessitates their involvement. For more information, you can go through the website. Next is the Secret Service. It is a division of Homeland Security, and the primary responsibility is safeguarding the President of the United States and other federal dignitaries. However, it also undertakes investigations into a range of criminal activities beyond its protective duties. These include probing counterfeit currency, government check theft, credit card fraud, cybercrime, etc. Some of the examples are the semi-government entity, the national mail system, and mail-related theft. The postal inspectors are highly regarded federal investigators known for effectiveness and assistance. They specialize in investigating significant fraud cases, utilizing the postal system and work to prosecute individuals who violate postal laws. Collaborating with various federal, state, and local agencies, postal inspectors possess broad jurisdiction. These inspectors play a crucial role in investigations involving employee fraud, investment schemes, and management deceit. Given that many fraudulent activities involve the use of the mail, postal statutes serve as foundation laws in federal crime prosecution. Understanding these statutes and building relationships with local postal inspectors can greatly aid in fraud investigations. Then we have a popular one, the Central CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. And the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, operates under the authority of the President of the United States of America and primarily focuses on security matters beyond US borders. In contrast, the FBI is responsible for security within the United States, but CIA is beyond the states. The CIA serves as a valuable resource, particularly in cases involving international concerns such as money laundering in secretive jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands. For access to information and resources, you can visit the website given over here. Next, we have the Social Security Administration, and the Social Security Administration maintains records of individuals' social security numbers, offering valuable insight into their residency at the time of issuance. With each social security number containing details about the area, group, and serial numbers, this information proves crucial in fraud investigations. Once an individual unique social security number is identified, access to the plethora of federal, state, local, and private records becomes possible. Furthermore, private sources, including credit agencies and people finder websites, become significantly more effective when searched using social security numbers. Moreover, the government regularly publishes list of dead social security numbers comprising identifiers of deceased individuals. Unfortunately, these numbers are sometimes misused by spouses, family members, or unauthorized individuals to fraudulently receive benefits or fabricate counterfeit social security cards. For comprehensive information and access to SSA resources, visit the official website of the Social Security Administration. There are numerous other federal sources of information that you can search on the internet as well. Next, let us talk about the state sources of information. So far, we have talked about the federal sources of information, and now we talk about the state sources of information. Now, the state resources frequently provide valuable assistance in fraud investigations. State Attorney General Office. Each state's Attorney General Office is responsible for enforcing all state civil and criminal laws, often collaborating closely with local law enforcement agencies. These agencies maintain records pertaining to individuals convicted of violating state and criminal statutes. The Bureau of Prison in each state is responsible for managing the state's prison facilities and overseeing the state correction departments. It keeps detailed records of individuals who have been incarcerated in state prisons, as well as those under probation or payroll supervision. Then we have the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State oversees the maintenance of various records concerning businesses and uniform commercial codes filings. These records encompass important documents such as Article of Incorporation, bylaws, and details regarding registered agents, initial board members, and officers. They are publicly accessible and serve as vital resources in the investigation of fraudulent activities, offering insight into business legitimacy, tax compliance, and key personnel information. The Department of Motor Vehicle maintains driver license records. These records provide comprehensive information including an individual's driving history, address convictions for traffic violations, name, date of birth, place of birth, and photograph. Driver's license records may also contain person's social security number, and driver's license numbers are frequently used for identification purposes in various transactions such as check writing. The Department of Vital Statistics is responsible for maintaining birth records, which contains details about an individual's date and place of birth, as well as information about the parents. While obtaining these records can be challenging, they hold valuable information for investigations. People often have strong connections to their birthplace, making local records in these areas potential sources of useful information. For example, a perpetrator might use stolen funds to purchase property or fund projects in their hometown. Additionally, individuals in birthplace areas may possess important information about the perpetrators. Then most states have a Department of Business Regulation or a similar agency tasked with maintaining licensing information for various professions. This information typically covers a wide range of professions, including accountants, attorneys, doctors, electricians, plumbers, contractors, engineers, nurses, police officers, firefighters, insurance agents, bail bondsmen, real estate agents, security guards, stockbrokers. The list is really long. Licensing information serves as a gateway to assessing industry guidelines and provides insight into an individual's membership, specializations, current business, addresses, history of complaints, grievances, charges, investigations, and professional credentials. Local agencies, such as counties, maintain valuable records essential for fraud investigations. However, the availability of these records differ across states and counties. So let us talk about county clerks. County clerks maintain vital records on local citizens such as voter registration and marriage licenses, which are invaluable in fraud investigation. Voter registration records include details like names, addresses, age, date of birth, social security number, signature, and phone number, providing valuable information even if the person hasn't voted. Marriage records stored in the country's county clerk's office of the marriage location typically contain comprehensive data about the couple, including full names, dates of birth, social security numbers, addresses, driver's license numbers, prior marriages, and witnesses. Assessing this information enhances further investigation in online and other databases as well. County Land Office and Tax Assessor's Office, uh, they house real estate records for properties within the county. Real estate records can be traced through two primary methods. Firstly, county land office records or the recorder of deeds. Office typically contains information about land ownership, including details about owned assets, indebtedness, mortgage holders, trustees, or straw buyers, and individuals associated with property before and after the sale. Secondly, property tax records managed by the county's assessor's office also contain property related information. These records may be indexed by address, legal description, owner's name, seller's name, or buyer's name. Then, offices like the city police, county constable, probation officers, and bail bondsmen maintain records related to criminal charges, indictments, pre-trial information reports, convictions, incarcerations, and probation details. Local courts maintain a variety of records related to past law violators, including pre-trial information such as personal history, employment history, physical details, prior charges, divorces, property settlements, personal injury lawsuits, financial claims, etc. Bankruptcy records available online include details on the current status of cases, creditor list, debt assets, and character information which can reveal hidden assets as well. Information on wills and probates assist in identifying assets and their sources, particularly concerning perpetrators whose claim inheritance to justify extravagant lifestyles. This data validates or dismisses such claims. Then, permit departments are responsible for issuing permits, providing valuable data concerning fire permits for hazardous chemicals. The purpose is to regulate hazardous chemicals and ensure safety measures. Health permits for pollutants. The purpose is to control pollutants and safeguard public health. Elevator permits. The purpose is to ensure elevator safety and prevent accidents. Building permits regulate is to regulate construction activities, and it is important to ensure compliance with building codes. So permit departments, they offer valuable insight into various permits related to safety and construction. Utilizing their data aids in making informed decisions regarding businesses, leases, and construction activities. Then we have private sources of information, and the private sources provide abundant data for those who search for. Utility records show billing details and residency status. So the potential sources may be formal associates like former spouses. They may possess relevant financial documents. Then trash as a source can hold valuable information, financial information post disposal, but searching it while owned is illegal. Once discarded, investigators can legally search, often finding tax details. Then shredded documents are not safe because there are softwares that can now reconstruct them, and digital files are also accessible to forensic investigators. Credit reporting agencies hold consumer and organizational data regulated by the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Financial records obtainable via court orders are vital. Despite restriction, financial data sharing has increased. So legal compliance is crucial. Laws govern data access. Adhering to regulations is essential to maintain integrity in investigation. Then online commercial databases offer valuable information and come with various access models such as subscriptions, per use fees, or unlimited free searching. In case of per use fee database, the subscriber pay for each search or download. The advantage is it is cost effective for occasional users. Examples are like public records, online search system. In case of unlimited free searching database, no cost for searching or accessing data is involved. The advantage is it is ideal for frequent users or budget conscious individuals, like examples like Google Scholar, Pacer Monitor, etc. Then overlapping data in databases. So some databases share similar information. They provide this helps in providing cross verification of data like public record databases. Then there are unique information in databases, and most databases contain unique databases contain exclusive data. They offer diverse perspective on a case. Example may be specialized industry databases, social media platforms. So then we can be searching multiple sources, and this ensures comprehensive data collection. It is important to prevent overlooking critical information like financial databases, criminal record databases, etc. Then internet, readily available to the public, has evolved into an increasingly essential source of information. Search engines such as Google and Bing don't explore internal databases but rather index extensive sections on the public web. As a result, search results often feature media references, corporate websites, and various other publicly accessible online platforms. Finally, let us talk about the net worth method. And the net worth method is a common approach used by investigators to assess the extent of stolen funds after gathering information about spending and lifestyle from various sources, including public records. This method relies on calculating an individual's assets, liabilities, living expenses, and income to determine any discrepancy indicative of embezzlement. So, here is a simplified breakdown of the net worth method. Assets minus liabilities is equal to net worth. This is calculation establishes the individual's overall financial position. Then net worth minus prior year's net worth minus prior year's net worth equals net worth increase, determining the change in the net worth over time. Then net worth plus living expenses equals income, estimating the individual's income based on changes in net worth and living expenses. And finally, income minus funds from known sources equals funds from unknown sources, identifying potential illicit income. So investigators, they gather data from public records, interviews, and subpoenas to compile information on the individual's assets, liabilities, and spending habits. This comprehensive approach helps in estimating the amount of stolen funds. Despite its conservative nature, the net worth method has gained favor among fraud investigators, including agencies like the FBI, DEA, and IRS, due to its reliability in estimating embezzlement amounts. While it may not account for all expenses, courts often accept the calculated amounts as evidence, facilitating prosecutions. Interrogating suspects with accurate financial information often leads to confessions when they are unable to justify their expenditures with legitimate income sources. Overall, the net worth serves as a valuable tool in investigating financial crimes and uncovering illicit activities. Let us consider the case of Helen Weeks, an executive secretary at Bond Consulting Group. For nearly a decade, highly regarded for her integrity and dedication, Helen's responsibilities include coordinating feasibility studies, managing client files, and handling financial debt in transactions. Initial BCG subcontracted feasibility studies to Jackson and Company. However, when this partnership ended due to a merger, Helen failed to notify the accounting department. Exploiting her authority to sign payment vouchers, she continued to process checks to Jackson and Company, depositing them into a bank account she opened under the company's name. Helen's supervisor, trusting her implicitly, permitted her to authorize payments under $10,000. Subsequently, Helen diverted funds meant for market research to her personal account, using them to cover personal expenses. Now, suppose we are probing into Helen's fraudulent activities in our investigative process. We are scoured public records and various sources, compiling Helen Weeks' financial details as presented in the table over here for a period of 3 years. Armed with this data, we can employ the net worth method to gauge the potential extent of Helen's embezzlement. and this calculation is given in this table. This, let us call this as table A, and this is table B. So we have the same as far as the assets are concerned. For the 3 years, we have the assets, we have the stocks, we have the automobiles, we have the certificate of deposits, we have the cash. And if we make the total of all these assets, it is equal to 206,000. This is 212,000, and this is 246,000. Then we look into the liabilities, and the liabilities are 90 and 50 and 0, and then we have a auto loan of 10 and 0. We make the total again, and that is equal to 100,000 and 50,000, and that is 0. So we will use the formula for the net worth calculation, and I will simply paste it over here. So you can see that assets minus liability is net worth. So we have the total of the assets, and we have the total of the liabilities, and assets minus liabilities is net worth, that is 106,000, 162,000, and 246,000. We go to this. So we have done step number 1. This was step 1, and then we look into the net worth increase, that is net worth minus prior year's net worth. So net worth of year 2 is 162 and prior was 106. So there is a change in net worth by 56,000. And same over here, net worth minus the prior years, and that is equal to 84,000. Then to this we are going to add the living expenses, and the living expenses are, we don't have for year 1 obviously. For year 2 we have the mortgage payments, auto loan payments, and other living expenses. So the total is 30,800. And for the year 3, the living expenses are how much? 22 and 10, that is 32,800. So the total income, as we go to step number 3, is net worth increase plus the living expenses. This was the net worth increase plus the living expenses. This is 86,800, and this is 116,800. From this we are going to subtract the known income, and the known income is from salary and others for year 2, that is 40,000, and this is 42,000. So the income from unknown sources is income minus funds from the known sources. So 86 minus 40 is 46,800. This is step number 4. And this is 74,800. So based on the calculations, it appears that Helen has undisclosed income of at least 46,800 in year number 2 and 74,800 in year number 3. This evidence holds significant weight in legal proceedings. potentially leading to a criminal conviction, civil judgment, or court order against Helen. Moreover, it can be instrumental in eliciting a confession from her. Armed with this compelling data, an adept investigator may confront Helen with her financial situation, prompting her to disclose her income sources. When confronted with the inconsistency between her stated income and her lifestyle expenses, Helen may be inclined to confess. So this completes the fourth video on accrual accounting. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and if you found value in this video, then please like, subscribe and share my channel and hit the notification bell button to alert you for the latest video. For webinar and guest speaker invites, please send me a message at accountingamir@gmail.com. Remember, effective questioning brings insight, which fuels curiosity, which cultivates wisdom. If you have any question or any suggestion regarding this session, then please put them in the comment box below or by email, and inshallah I will reply you back. Thank you so much and happy learning.